You are now tuned into Mix Station Radio Live. The views and opinions of the guests and the hosts you hear on Mix Station Radio Live are not necessarily those of the staff and the management of Mix Station Radio Live, its sponsors, or advertisers.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rum TV. We got a special guest on the show today, my friend Faith Joy.
What's up, you guys?
What's up, Faith? This is episode 35. We are going to be talking about fake love. But before we get into that, Faith, can you tell my audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Faith Joy. I am the owner of To Be Creative, which is a Christian-based platform for creators, for Christians, for creators that want to be creators, for people that just aspire to create. I give everyone that opportunity to do so. We are a platform built off of mental and spiritual awareness, being aware within yourself, within your lifestyle, within your business, within your creativity, within your relationships, and within yourself. So that's just a little bit about what I am doing. I'm actually about to launch a women's clothing line, which is a branch out of To Be Creative, which is going to be called Creatively Covered. I'm going to just show women how to be sexy but poised, show women how to be sexy but covered, show women how to be show women how to be reserved but still appealing to the eye, you know, and just kind of exploring other things as well. But that's just a little bit about myself. Thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate the invite.
Oh yeah, no doubt, absolutely.
We just thank you that you're here.
Absolutely.
Forget Chris.
Absolutely.
Look, don't forget. All right.
Can't forget you.
We can't forget Chris. So look, let me ask you this: when did you start To Be Creative?
I ain't even gonna call it a person, but it is new, actually. It's been my first event was back in February 2020, which was my women's empowerment luncheon. So it kind of was launched in February. But before that, it was kind of legwork that was done prior to, but I would say February. About February was when it was like actually birthed and put out into the atmosphere.
So February this year?
February 2020, yep.
Okay. I actually think I remember seeing your luncheon. You was promoting it on Instagram, and then you had like all these people. It was kind of like a banquet event, right?
It was a networking event.
Okay.
So I came up with the idea a little bit, just seeing how women interact and how I love to empower other women and how other women empower me. So I wanted to put that all in one room, but also giving new entrepreneurs that may not know what to say or know how to inspire, but they want to, giving them the opportunity to learn that in a well-groomed environment. So that's kind of how it was thought. It came about, and then I wanted to sprinkle a little Jesus on it, so I had my...
A little Jesus. Did she just say a little Jesus? Just a little Jesus. Just a little Jesus on that.
He's a part of my life. He's a part of my brand, so I had to make sure that I involved him in the process. So I had my first lady come in and give some spiritual insight on a little bit of things that, you know, women need to know. Being a disciple of Christ and walking with God, you need leadership. So I had her come in and give a little insight on the word and how to stay grounded in the word. And then I also had my mom there. She came and did a little bit of, I gave a little bit of her testimony, and she kind of spoke on it a little bit. It was a little bit of everything. It was a love room is what I called it. Jesus, ministry, testimonies, just a room full of love with a whole bunch of women.
So that love portion, we're going to come back to that, because part of my topic today is not just the relationship side of the fake love, but actually you can have fake love between...
What is that? What do you mean by fake love? What does that mean?
Not real, not true.
So yeah, fake love is like when you think that you love something or someone or something about someone, but you're actually more involved or more interested in a lust or a personal interest into it. A game can be the same thing.
Okay.
And we've talked about this
many times
on the show, but
it's not at this topic.
It is not
at the topic
the whole
of the show.
topic, though. So
Okay.
tonight we're gonna make it
Tonight. It's going down.
Mixstation Radio on TV, baby.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the main event tonight. So
Okay.
I got a lot to say.
but we not quite ready to unpack the fake love because I have a question. So
Okay.
coming from where you started to where you are now, where did the idea for, you called your clothing line
Creatively covered.
I was gonna say that.
Okay.
So when did you think of that? Like, how did that piece come out of To Be Creative?
Okay, so I have a mentoring program within my high school that's called Faith Closet Crash, right? I literally take my closet, put it in a classroom, and I show young ladies how to dress. If it's for an interview, if it's for a date, if it's for school, if it's for an audition, whatever it is, showing them how to dress on a budget but still be covered. Because I've learned, being a young lady myself, most of my friends, some of them on here right now, they used to want to go through my closet. Like, Faith, what do you have for me to wear this place? Or, I love how you looked on this day. Can I hold that? So I thought about it. I took myself out of it and said, how can I give back to my people, my community, without it seeming like I'm trying to dictate what they wear. I didn't want it to be a dictation. I wanted it to be a choice. You can choose to dress and show your boobs, or you can choose to cover up and still be sexy. So that's kind of where the idea came from. Showing when I was in the room with those young ladies and seeing that they truly did not know how to dress and still be sexy but still be covered. So creatively, To Be Creative, that's where creatively came from. And then creatively also is an avenue of being creative. You can be creative within your fashion, you can be creative within your poetry, you can be creative within your singing, whatever. So To Be Creative is not a box. It's an open box that you can explore any option through. So creatively came from that, and then covered of just the simple term of just being covered but still being sexy.
Wow.
So is it more of like a neo-soul kind of dressing up?
No. So I'm like right now, I'm creatively covered.
Yeah, you are.
Let me stand up and show y'all what I'm
Oh
doing.
Lord, she gonna
I
fashion
have
show.
on
It's the
my
fashion
business
show.
hoodie,
Yes.
Right? I have on my business hoodie. I'm representing my brand, but there's no boobs out.
Right,
I have
okay.
on my leather pants.
Yes.
Right? It's still sexy.
Yes, you still sexy.
Still giving a little,
Oh, Shabba. Oh, my,
and
see
I have
ya.
on my heels, but my whole body's covered.
But you know what? That's like a neo-soul thing to me.
Okay.
Because the neo-soul, okay.
Explain that.
Okay, y'all younger than me. So do y'all remember the neo-soul movement?
I know neo soul. I kind of know the air.
Okay,
but I don't
all right,
know
okay. Let me
No.
put it to you this
Okay.
way. The neo-soul is like when you would see Jill Scott or Erykah Badu
Okay.
wear the different, but they would be covered.
Okay.
They really didn't show a lot of their body.
Okay.
Even when they singing. Legacy just started doing it, but when she first came out, it wasn't about that. Floetry, prime example.
Okay.
Floetry, when
I
they
get where you're
first
going.
came out, they was more covered. They really, if like, let's say they had a big booty, they would put a scarf around themselves, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was more giving
say-
you sex appeal, but not showing you everything.
If you put it in the old term, like I would
Right.
modernize it a little bit.
Okay, well then
So
modernize it.
in the sense of, let's use a suit as an example, right?
Okay, right.
You could wear a suit, pantsuit, bottoms, jacket,
Right.
shoes, but you can the woman can choose to wear a bustier top where her boobs are showing, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know what that means, but
I know
bustier
what it
is
means.
like pushed up bra.
I'm not that old,
Yeah.
but bless your heart.
But if you put that on, right, versus her wearing a bustier bra trying to be sexy because
Right.
she want her outfit to still be appealing to the
Right,
eye.
right.
I would still put on the blazer. I would still put on the slacks, but I would put on a nice button up and maybe open it a little bit where it's not showing my boobs, but it's still showing a little skin.
Okay.
So it's kind of showing you a modernized way of covering and still being sexy.
Okay.
Because I'm young and I'm kind of catering to the millennials more so.
I got
so
you.
I want to show them how to
Dress.
dress
It's
properly.
Properly,
classy,
amen.
It's more
It's a
of
classy,
classy-
was a classy
exactly.
look.
It's a classier
Amen.
version.
Thank God for that.
So in our episode tonight, we're going to touch on that because that we would define as self-love. That
Very,
is-
very
that would
much
be
so.
self-love.
Very much so.
Faith is teaching young women to have standards and to be, as I stated before, classy. To not be inviting inappropriate audience or sending an inappropriate invitation as some men would receive it if your boobs are showing.
Exactly.
Right. It's a different way.
Exactly.
It's a different invitation when you do that. Because like kind of what Faith is saying, and we had a little bit of a discussion on this topic. I'm gonna just use Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Yeah, go ahead.
How raw and real their music is, and how they I'll say womanize the
sex
proper
appeal.
term.
The
The
sex
sex
appeal.
appeal. It's like it's okay to dress this way, to show this, to show that, which.
I beg to differ.
I'm not a fan of
I
that.
beg to differ.
I'm not a fan
That's
of
a
it.
show for another day.
Oh,
right?
that is
That's
a show.
what we say.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day. Yeah,
But
yes.
what we will say about that is, to them, it's okay to love yourself and to be confident in your body and how you look.
Well,
But
yeah.
to us, and what we're talking about today is, there's also preservation in knowing that you don't have to show everything
No, you don't.
in
No,
order
you don't.
to be loved or to find
Right.
love or have somebody like you.
And
Right.
and just to piggyback off you, I'm learning as I'm teaching. I'm learning that people just don't know. Like
This is
people
true.
think that that's the only way to be sexy is to show my boobs and show my butt and have a little thigh out when it's not.
It's not.
I don't listen. I can walk in a room and be fully covered, and a young lady come behind me and she's half naked and she will not get the same attention. Why? Because a man wants to be able to undress you with his eyes. He don't want to see you and automatically have access to you.
Amen.
Real.
Amen. All right, we're going
They
there.
don't want.
Let's go there.
They want to
Let's
challenge.
So-
They want to
so-
be able to. Go ahead.
First of all, before we
I
even
want you to keep going
keep
because
that thought. Keep that
she's
thought.
right about what she's saying.
Yeah,
but
she is. She is. Hallelujah.
You would think she's a
I
man.
just want to get
She's
this
a-
out. I just want to get it. What church or what ministry are you under?
Yes, I'm proud to say I am a member of the Carpenter's House of Baltimore. It's a small church on top
Okay.
of the hill.
What top of the hill? Now get that
top
right
of the hill
now.
on Crestline Road. We are at.
Is this west side or east
This
side?
is east side. Let me break it down.
Yeah,
Let me
break it down, 'cause you on my
I
side of town.
listen,
Get it right
I am
now.
Under leadership of Melvin Easley Jr. He's a bishop of our organization.
Okay.
We are Crestline. You know where Northwood Shopping Center is.
Yes, I
correct?
know where
We're
Northwood Shopping
behind
Center.
it. So if
Okay.
you are on Lock Raven,
Okay.
and you're going towards Hartford Road, if you're
Right.
going back towards Cold Spring, we literally are the hill across from Kennedy Krieger. You know,
Okay, I know exactly
we're
where
up
you
on
are.
that hill,
Yes,
and
I
it's
got
like
you.
a little storefront.
Yeah, I got you,
Yup,
yes.
we the church that makes noise on top of that hill.
I know that church
The Carpenter's House.
because y'all right in the back.
Yep.
It sits right in the back.
Yep, and we're the last building. We're the last building on the
Got
hill.
you.
Yep.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I
So
know
I'm
where you are.
proud. I'm a proud member. And I
Amen.
say it
Amen.
loud and proud.
Amen.
And that's
Amen.
why I make sure that everyone knows that my brand is built and based off of God,
Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, I got you.
Because at the end of the day, He created me, so I was created to be, so I can teach somebody else how to do it.
You know what? You're gonna be a blessed young woman. Bless your heart.
Listen.
Bless your
Okay.
heart. All right, let's get back to the
Blessings.
subject. Let's
Blessings
get back
all
to the
around.
subject
You know what?
before we went off of that.
So to get back to the subject,
Yeah.
I was just gonna acknowledge that Faith is absolutely right, and I don't know, how did you know that, Faith?
What did I know?
So I'm gonna requote what you said.
Okay.
She said a man wants to undress a woman with his mind.
Yes,
With his
So
eyes.
this is true. With
I'm
his
sorry,
eyes.
with his eyes.
With his eyes.
So if you are already naked or half naked
Mm-hmm.
and revealing and showing, I ain't gotta undress you because I can see what it
Think-
look like.
And you already know what you're gonna get.
Think exactly.
You already know.
That's my point. That's my point.
You
If a
already
man
know.
sees me fully covered, he does not know what I'm capable of.
And-
He does not know what I can do for him in the sense of mentally, emotionally,
Bless your
physically,
heart, girl.
spiritually. You don't know. It's so much easier to have access to something that's already available.
Yes, it is.
But if I make myself unavailable, and not even unavailable, if I make myself harder to have access
Uncover.
to, you're going to do more work.
Amen. Amen.
To
That's
a man
so
that
true.
has access to something that's already uncovered, he's not going to do any work. He's going to do bare minimum.
Because he know that's what she gave, so that's what I'm gonna
Exactly.
give. I already know.
If you take it to a book, right? If we look at the Bible, right? How the Bible has chapters and verses and
Right.
and it's not something that you can interpret overnight, right?
Right.
That's how a woman should be. If you're a wife, if you have the characteristics of a wife, that's what you aspire to be, because that's the end goal. then you should have layers to you. You should be. I shouldn't be able to read your book or your cover and know exactly what I'm getting into.
Proverbs 31, love.
Come
Proverbs
on, talk about it.
So I think that's absolutely right. I'm actually kind of like amazed that I have a guest on the show.
Yeah,
that it's so detailed and just spot on.
She know her stuff, man. We're gonna get deep tonight.
Look, I was gonna say that's why I was kind of anxious to have this episode, right?
Yeah.
Because Faith, it's all there.
Fake
she
love.
got it going on. So
She
shout out to you.
so she gonna give you the real perspective.
Shout out
okay.
to you,
All right,
Faith.
let's break it down.
Let's go there.
Let's go.
Go ahead. You got first, and I'll go second because I got so much to ask.
Well, I got a question.
Go ahead. Go question.
So for as far as fake love, let me kind of switch it a little bit, right?
Okay.
So if a man sees a woman who is clothed and is covered and has a lot of respect for herself, what if she is, what if she is intimidating because she's not like these other girls, whereas though he feel like it's too much work?
It's never too much work.
But what if he feel like it is?
Then she ain't it. If a man ever tells me that I'm too much work, holla. Because what I just said this today.
He can't lead you.
Thank you.
He can't lead
if I'm too much work, what do you expect to? How can you lead me for 20 years down the line? I'm only going to get better. I'm not going to.
And you're going to change.
I'm going to evolve. I'm going to learn. I'm going to mature. I'm going to develop mentally, emotionally. I'm going to grow. So if you can't handle me now, when I'm just getting to the beginning of the line to start running, how can you handle me in 10 years when I'm a millionaire and I'm bossed up and I got multiple things I'm juggling?
Multiple streams, yes, sir.
How can you?
Don't we talk about that all the time?
We talk about it. I said you got to have multiple streams of income, and then you got to understand that everything have to be equally yoked.
Yes, there we go.
You have to be equally yoked because if you get into a relationship and I just let, Shabbat, this been a hard 3 months for me. But when you're in relationship or whatever you want to call it, I don't know what I was in, but I understand that everything is unequally yoked, especially through the years when somebody gets so familiar with you and you feel as though it's okay, and other people may think that's what it should be. But most likely it doesn't mean that it should be. Right. It doesn't mean, even though it may look like the God choice, but it doesn't mean that it is the God choice. Because some people may think that you're not on their level because maybe they don't grow. Or it may be the opposite. I always say this. Remember that comment when somebody says this? They say, no, it's not you, it's me. Actuality, it's really the person. Mm-hmm. So when somebody tells you something that, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do, they really meant. The first time. They really, no. They really flipping it. Mm-hmm. They flipping it. They really saying they don't want you to be what they want to be. Mm. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, well, I feel as though I might cheat on you. Mm. No. You're scared that I might cheat on you.
I get what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, reverse psychology.
It's
exactly,
right.
Exactly.
And one thing I found out that with the fake love thing, since we talking about tonight, you come across people who know you're gifted. They know you got it. But they are so afraid to get so deep because one thing I found, and you can tell me this, young lady, because you're young. I believe, because I'm older, I believe that women want half and half. They really don't want a real man of God. And can I piggyback? Yeah, piggyback because let me say something. Because it's a lot of because I've been out there now.
That's real. That's real. And that's because she's seesawing. That's because she's straddling the fence. Right. But a real woman of God is gonna want a real man of God. At the end of the day,
maybe I just didn't meet that yet.
And that's fine. Yes. What I'm learning, what I want, I kind of do want half and half. I don't, and it's not in the sense of I want him to be in the streets or I want him to not like that. I'm saying,
okay,
in the world, you're saying flesh, a man that's still dwelling in his flesh and wants
to. No.
Explain it a little bit.
Okay, yeah, explain. Let me explain.
So I can make sure we're on the same page.
What I'm saying with the half and half is that a real man of God is going to go all the way in.
What
They're
does
going to
that
pray. They're going to lead you. They're going to guide you. It's a lot of things that come with that because he's about doing the will of God.
Okay.
A half and half man is not worrying about doing the will of God. They just want to do their will. And see, in order for you to be the great woman of God that you are, you need to hook up with another great man that's in this. What I say. Now I'm going all the way back. You remember Miles Monroe? Okay, look him up.
I'm young.
Okay, yeah, look him up. Yeah, I know your past is known. If your past is known, when you look him up, it's gonna break. It's gonna break your heart. You're gonna say, "Oh my God, Jesus, what in the world I've been doing?"
Okay,
but the whole idea. If we go back to Garden of Eden, one of the main things that Adam was doing, everything before Eve ever came, he was working in the garden. She didn't have to come and do anything.
Okay.
So one of the main things that, and not saying this is all true for everybody, but this is from Miles Monroe, and I'm just quoting what he was saying. He was saying you should never get with a man if he's not in worship. In the presence of God. Because see, if you get with a man that's not in the presence of God, that means he just can't hear from God. And so if you want to be really led by God, the first order is that God first, the man, us, the relationship as a unit, then the kids, then the family. But if you get a guy that you got to drag to church, that you got to, not saying it doesn't happen like that.
So
I'm not putting God in the box.
Are you saying that's the other half?
No.
Help me understand.
Okay,
what's the,
I'm giving. Yeah, I'm just breaking it down so you understand.
Okay.
So when I say about half and half, because the real man is really in the presence of God. I think that what women want, they don't really want a man that's in the presence of God. They really want a man that's really out there, whatever he's doing, and try to bring him to God. Sometimes we have lived in that culture, and most of the time that's worked. We have had people who have been Muslims who married a Christian, and very rarely that doesn't work out. You know, it becomes chaos because you both you think different, you think different, and a family can't be having two heads. Let's put that on the head. So what I'm saying is that you don't want to. The man should cover you,
right?
Not you cover the man.
Correct.
Okay, that's how come when you see the woman saying, "Oh, I want to marry you," I think that's out of order.
It is out of order.
So it should be the man.
Find it for wife.
Yeah. So you there? Oh, you got it. It's right there. But when you put it all together, that means the question is, what is the fakeness of how we're going to find the love that we want of a real man? And what is the definition of a half and half? Now, I told you my definition of a half and half is a man that's really not in the presence of God. That means he's not hearing from God. But us as people of God, even let's say I want to get with a woman, right? And I go out there what Samson did. Samson, he told him not to do that, but Samson had an issue. Okay? Now, the fact of the matter is, because he had an issue, he didn't obey God. And so he suffered the consequences.
Right.
Okay? Same thing as you in a relationship as a godly woman trying to find a man. You have to be very keen, especially in this day and time, to find the right one, to make the God choice. Okay.
So then, you know what I would say to this?
Okay, go ahead.
If this is your struggle, right? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it ain't. Could be a viewer struggle. If that's the problem, that you have the godly man, but you're not appreciating what he's bringing to the table, then you're not ready. That's just the bottom line.
Well, hold up. Let me ask you something, because you had said that you want a half and half. So can you tell?
What's my definition of half and half?
What is your half?
I would say half and half, right? Because I'm gonna give my son's dad some credit, right?
Okay, got you.
And this is my true story.
Okay, got you.
Before I had my son's dad was drinking, he was partying, he was hanging out, smoking, like he was out in the world, right? When my son came, he cut everything short. Yeah. And he refound the salvation for himself. Yeah. Not to say that he didn't have it, not to say that he didn't have the Holy Ghost, whatever. He went and found it for himself.
Amen.
And I was trying to figure out how you leave me while you go find God. You can't leave me, and I've been here this whole time, and now you want to go find God. Let me finish.
Go.
So it was me. It took for me to remove myself from the relationship and put myself in an individual relationship with just God and myself. I couldn't be in a relationship as a triangle, me, him, and God, because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to cultivate something that did not exist. And when he went to run for his life, I was mad. But it was like, how can you be mad when you say that you want a man of God, that you want a godly man to lead your household? He goes and decides to find God, on his own, create his own journey, and I'm mad. So the half and half thing is, what I say is, I want somebody to be dedicated, and this is the old me, not me now.
Okay, gotcha.
I wanted someone that was dedicated to Christ, but more dedicated to me. You can't have that, right?
Whew,
so now I've learned to
teach, young lady, teach.
Not separate the relationship from God.
Yes.
Keep God if he's in a center. And this is when I mean center of a relationship, I mean, and this is my husband, right? Right now I'm dating, so this ain't how I'm moving. That's not how I'm moving right now. But when I find, or God sends me my husband, he's going to be the center of our relationship, where anything of the world won't matter. Why? Because he's in a center. So it takes for you to grow and mature and understand that and be ready for that. Because like I said, maybe the women that you're finding or the women that you're interacting with, they're not ready for the level or the caliber of a man you are, because they're not in a relationship devoted to God.
Right. And you're right. So the whole idea, Chris, is the bottom line to this is Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. She know the word. Hashabaya. All right, now. So the thing about it, if you base, and that's why I base my life off of that one scripture, because I know long as I keep seeking him first, keep doing what he wants me to do. That's one of the reasons why Mix Station is here. Because we sought God first. Because we could have got some drug money and built this thing, but we didn't. See what I'm saying? So because we stepped back and said, nah, that's all right, we'll do this thing right, and it grew. It took us some time, but I'd rather take the time and let it be what it is today. So the whole idea is that the waiting process, and us waiting, we're going to go through the lot of fake loves, because you don't have to. You don't have to. But because of our flesh, because of what we want, it seems like we come across people that are chameleons.
So, and with what you're saying, I think that's 100% true in our everyday lives. There are more people who are not seeking God first. And so the relationships that you are dealing with or that you're involving yourself in are with people who are seeking, like I said earlier, that lust or that personal interest, that personal gain. And now you're in a situation where you're dealing with somebody who is only in this relationship with you for the sex, or because you are some public figure, or you the girl that all the guys want, or you are, destined to be a millionaire, or whatever it is that you have that this guy seeks from you. And that's going to lead me into my question. So, Faith, if you meet a man that is overwhelmingly attractive and he has a relationship with God, a strong relationship with God, but he just falls short every now and then on different pieces, what do you do?
Different pieces like what? Fall short?
Let's just say that it's just inconsistent, period.
But he has a relationship with God? So you saying, is that supposed to be the thing that I hold on to?
Let's just say that his actions don't always follow through with his words as far as his relationship with God.
I'm not doing it.
She's not compromising.
Hear me out. Where I am right now,
amen.
My future goal is marriage, but right now I'm dating. So, do you have to have a relationship with God? That's the bottom line base for anybody I date. If you don't even pursue him, if you don't even pray, if you don't read the word, if I can't quote you a scripture and you can repeat it back to me, we ain't going nowhere. That's just bottom line, period. Because what I let into my space, you're going to know me intimately. You're going to know I have a relationship with him. And I got to be able to talk to you about him. So that's just bottom line, period. If you are inconsistent, I am inconsistent. I am not a saint. I am not Mary Moses. I'm being real. So if you want me to be real and honest, I want someone that's transparent with where they are with God, but I want you to also be transparent with me. And if you're inconsistent in other areas, we can work on it. But if your whole life is inconsistency, I can't do nothing with you. Why? Because I'm consistent. I have an end goal. You know, if my end goal is marriage and I know that you're inconsistent, how do I know you're going to be consistent with me? You know, if it's communication, if it's just the basics of seeing you or, you know, hanging out with you. If I don't know that you're going to be consistent in that area, why would I pursue you any further?
Right. No, I can understand that. Okay.
Amen.
So I guess my next question is for the people who
she got it going on, brother. That's all I got to say.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
already knew.
You brought a good guest tonight, boy. I tell you, boy.
I told you.
You did. You got him, boy. You got him.
Good
boy.
people too.
So
what's up, CEO?
Let me.
Look,
hello, how are you?
This is our real producer.
Give him hand claps. Give him hand claps. Jeremiah, give your uncle hand
Mr.
claps.
Marcus,
Nice to meet you.
the real producer.
The real producer.
It's an inside joke. We'll tell you about it later.
Right.
For the people in our audience who maybe understand what you're saying but don't actively think that way, right?
Okay.
And still allowing men into their lives, or for the men who are still allowing women into their lives, who are not seeking God, who are not seeking the Lord, who are not seeking to be better, aspiring to be better, and are complacent with the man that just do whatever so he can sleep with you, or hoping that you can change the, for lack of better words, fuckboy to a husband, or the hoe into a wife.
You can't do
they're
it.
not even
Can't
in
be
the
done.
same caliber of conversation. Like,
But let me just ask you this: what is it that they're seeing, or what is it that they're not seeing,
themselves.
that allows them to continue to be acceptant to that?
It starts with yourself. Just every conversation that we're going to have tonight, I'm going to go back to myself. At the end of the day, if you do not know self for yourself, if you do not know what you're worth, if you do not know who you are, where you're going, your purpose, if you do not know the values and your standards and your morals, if you don't know those things, then you will always settle. You will always take what's the shorter end of the stick, I should say.
You know what? And I'll piggyback on what you're saying. That is so true. But also, too, I find out because of our upbringings and what we saw. Because most of the women, if they wasn't validated by their father, like I have been in relationships, and the women that I had most problems with are the ones that did not have a good relationship with their father.
And I'm a testament
with
of
their
that.
father. Because if they don't deal with that, then they not going to submit to you. So you're going to have a real hard problem with dealing with that. Then the ones, let's say they not submit, let's say they don't like their mother. Okay, this can go either way, even with the father, even with the guy that don't like his mother. If you hook up with a guy that don't like his mother, most time he's not going to treat you right. Okay, so if let's say the woman is the one that she don't like her mother, then that situation is going to be very hectic, because it's all about love. Because your mother should be your first person that you look up to and say, okay, I want to be like her. It's like they say guys marry the wife that they get is their mother. You know,
that's true.
And in my case, I think it was my father. So but that's another story. But
That's
it's
a
different,
psychology
right?
term
It's a
for that.
psychology. It's like you look at something different than what you are, and you pick something like my mother's dark skin. I ended up marrying, even though I had a bunch of light skinned women. I married a dark skinned woman.
I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna still go back to the self thing.
Yeah.
If you don't teach yourself what you need to know about you and how you want to be treated, you can't expect somebody to come in and treat you any better than you treat yourself. That's just period. If you treat yourself, if you out and your boobs out, your tail out every time you go out, that's your approach. You can't expect to get different results if that's how you present yourself.
I want to ask you this, Faith.
Sure.
What about when the person doesn't know themselves and they live in a double life?
What you
See?
mean?
Okay.
Break that down.
Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. And a lot of guys, we can go really with the guy route on this one too. But let's say like a guy living a double life, he's one way.
The inconsistencies.
Okay, he's one way like this, but yet he he has a lifestyle that's different. If we want to go there, I don't want to say the word. I like to say lifestyle. But then you might have a woman that may be doing something different, because this is where Facebook and a lot of the other stuff come in. They live one thing, and we had this in the church too, a lot in the church, where they live one way in the church, but then they go home to a total another different situation.
There's a lot of people like that.
And then when
You
those
saying
two,
sexually?
it could be sexually, it could be
like
emotionally,
you're just not
living up to
right,
the part, right?
yeah,
It could be a pastor. Let's say a pastor and his wife. They show the image that they together, that they strong, but then they get home and they cussing each other out 24/7.
Okay.
It could be like that, or a guy that was
we could use
in the
single,
lifestyle.
a single man that
A
go to
single
church
man,
every
right.
Sunday and pray, praise God and
But
pray.
really,
and
he
do all
really
that.
wanted to sleep with
But
everybody in the
I was just gonna
church.
say, but and it don't
It
have to
could be the
in
women,
yeah,
because it didn't switch now. Shucks, it didn't switch now.
because it's easy for him.
Yeah,
and
it's easy for him,
because,
yeah. I know.
Let's just go with he's meeting women who are of the part and are interested in the fact that he's a holy man of God, or seems to be a holy man of God, but
They love the
end up-
image.
It's
that-
perception.
exactly.
That perception is wherever you go, though. It's not just in the church.
No, it's
It
not
could
just in the
be-
church.
it
I
could
just
be-
use the church.
It could be the CEO of a company
That's
that
true.
goes to work and he looks the part, he feels the part, he acts the part, and then when he go home, he's drunk off his face and he has nothing to tangibly say I have done with my life, but
Right.
the fact that he's a CEO of a company. So I think that goes in any way that you flip it. You can see it from a natural standpoint or a spiritual standpoint, but at the end of the day, again, it goes back to self. Are you misinterpreting who you are when you look in the mirror, or are you actually showing up as that person that you look in the mirror every day? And then if you go back to your question where you asked me, you said how do they figure that out if they feel like they keep walking in circles for real, keep meeting the same kind of people? You got to change your perspective of yourself. You got to show up differently. If it's how you speak, if it's how you look, if it's how you portray yourself, your representation is what's important, because at the end of the day, a person's only going to see what you show.
So true.
And that's if it's conversation, if it's how you speak, whatever. And you have to be a representation of what you want people to perceive of you.
So for the guys out there, and I know pretty much what you said would speak for the guys as well, but how do you, me personally, I feel like as a man, you should be leading from experience, but leading with confidence and knowledge of what you're talking about, what you're teaching to your woman or your family or whatever the case may be. And me and our CEO have had this conversation numerous times. Shout out to Cortez about just knowing what you're talking about before you want to start teaching it to somebody else, because you can't teach somebody something
Which you don't know.
That you don't know.
well,
That you
not,
don't even
not just that you don't know, but that
study.
you're learning about. Like
Yeah.
as a man, if you want to be a man of a household and you want to teach your kids stuff, you have to be so far ahead. Fantasia and her husband made a video about this thing, about like knowing things before you can even involve yourself in teaching somebody looking up to you, some like your wife or whoever it is. You can't teach them if you still learning stuff about it yourself. So like for a man like that, go ahead.
I don't agree with that, because I'm still learning, but I can teach what I've learned.
No. Let me pause you real quick. That's not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm
break it
saying
down.
is, okay, so if I'm a man of a household, I can't teach my son. I'm gonna just use credit as an example, because it's something that I always kind of hawk on with parents teaching their kids about credit, right? Because not being stereotypical, but you see it too often that white families have children and they grow up.
They know about
and
that money.
They got good credit scores, 700 credit scores, like 18, 19 years old. Why aren't more black families like that? You know what I'm saying? So
Lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
it is the lack of knowledge, and that's exactly my point. So if your parents didn't receive that knowledge at 18 and 19, or didn't have somebody tell them to teach your kids this by this time, it's not even on your plate to teach them. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So because they don't know, they can't teach it, because their credit is messed up, or they are still learning about it. They can't teach it.
I get what you're
you
saying.
get what I'm saying? Not in the sense that it's something I'm learning, so I'm telling you don't teach it to you because it's something I'm learning right now. No, what I'm saying is you are enabled to teach something that you're learning because you have not learned it.
I get what you're saying.
So in a sense that, for a young man or a young woman, or I'm sorry, we already touched on the young women. For a young man trying to be a holy man of God and to better himself and to get better, he has a lot of work to do. We all know that, but to achieve getting that woman and to wean out all the women who are not good fits because, you know, they are not women of God.
Me personally, my walk has been dealing with other men who have went through what I went through. They would tell me, "Nah, man, that's wrong in the way you're doing that."
Oh yeah, me and you do it all the time.
We do it all
on
the
the show.
time. We do iron sharpens iron. So when you're dealing with and you're growing, because I'm still growing, you know, you have to understand is that the woman evolves just as well as that you evolve, and she said it earlier. And you have to be knowing how to deal with those changes because God is forever progressive. He's still the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, but he's progressive. So just like this, we didn't think this pandemic was coming, but we're progressing through it. We're changing with it. We're moving. We got to make certain decisions now, make certain movements now. We can't do the same things that we used to do. You know what I'm saying? At one time, we could have all these chairs filled, but we don't do that now. See what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with relationships, you have to know that the person that you're dealing with will not be that same person that you met on that first date. Mm-hmm. They will evolve, and you got to be willing to go with the evolution of them and of yourself, and hopefully that we can grow together. That's why I say one of the main things is being equally yoked.
So let me ask y'all this. I read something the other day. I think it was on Instagram. Actually, it was probably on the Shade Room that said that marriages have been more successful in the previous 2 years than in like the last 40-something years prior to the last 2 years, which I thought was like a crazy stat,
crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
I never heard that one.
Maybe it's not true,
right? And I say all the time, I want the old marriage. I want to get married back in the 90s when you know love was real.
You struck it out. When you dealt with it.
When you went through and you was able to overcome together and not quit in the process.
You know what? I want to talk about that.
Okay.
But give me 1 second. So I'm gonna go back to that.
Let's get it.
So going with, you know, the last 2 years, we've had a slew of successful marriages. Congratulations to everybody who's married, who's living a successful
happy
marriage.
For him, man. I'm happy for everybody. Give me some claps, Jeremiah. Claps.
But so
I gotta tell him, give me some claps.
I guess, is it possible? Do y'all
point.
think that it's possible for you to have not really found yourself or not completely had that self-love, but find somebody else who has or does not have the self-love, and that y'all grow into your own self-loves and be able to keep that marriage?
I'll let her go first because I can go there.
I believe that it all depends on when you start. I believe that you can, because I want someone that I can grow with. I don't want someone that's too far advanced in any area that I can't either learn with you or progress with you. I don't want to deal with someone that's so far ahead that I can't reach them. You know what I'm saying? When I need to be able to say, hey, I only got $500 in my checkings account, but 300 of it is for bills, and he got 5,000 or 50,000, and he can't even relate to me struggling with 500. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to be with someone that's too far ahead. Too far ahead to where I can't grow and build with them. And that can be in any area. And I think if you put it in a sense of partnership, you have to grow with your partner, and that's what the point of marriage. You getting married so that you can evolve and grow with that together. Same person for the rest of your life. I think
so. You think that you can not? It's possible to not completely be.
I think we're never going to be perfect. We're never that's God. We're never going to get to a place where we're exactly where we want to be. We might feel like we're exactly where we want to be, but I don't think you're ever going to get to a place where you're exactly where you want to be.
So
go ahead.
No. Let me step in. Now, the comment that you said, where you just said so far ahead, right? But there's a lot of women that want the so far ahead. Now you're talking about the fact of women who have doubt. You got it? See if he got it.
But let me say this though. The thing about that, one, that goes back to you saying they're not equally yoked, but two, that's where I feel like, how do you know when you have enough self-love to even go out and date?
I think you're gonna know. I think like for me, I knew I wasn't ready when I first got out of my relationship with Montez. I knew I needed me time. Like, if you're in tune with yourself, if you're in tune with your mind and your body, you're gonna know that you're gonna need to separate yourself from men or separate yourself from women and figure out who you are. But that's where the problem comes in. People don't take the break. People will leave. I was a person. I'm a testament. I was young and I was broken and I was misunderstood. I just wanted to be loved. My father wasn't around. I didn't have no support. It was just me and my mother. And so I would find myself with relationships and friendships. I would just jump from relationship to relationship to relationship because I was trying to find something in those relationships that I should have been trying to find in myself. But because I didn't dedicate the time to get to know me for myself and spending that intimate time with myself, I start longing for it in relationships. So I think it goes hand in hand if I'm just answering your question.
No, I get that. Hold on 1 second because we got somebody calling in. Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in to Rum TV. You got Chris and Faith. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Faith. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
You can say good evening to Wilbur too. Say good evening to Wilbur. You called me.
You know what, Wilbur? I do apologize.
Thank you.
The phone. Yes. How are you, Wilbur?
How you doing? I'm doing wonderful. Go ahead with your question, love.
Okay. I'm a piggyback on what Faith is saying. And what Chris is saying about the self-love, being in marriage, for self-love. Actually, I can relate to what Faith is saying because I don't know if it's just a female thing or if it goes both ways, females and males. But when you are in a relationship, especially getting in marriage, I got married very, very young. When I look back now, and I feel like I was young and very naive and impressionable, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And I really was not equipped with self-love. And I know self-love is so, so important. Because if you don't have self-love and you can't love yourself and appreciate yourself for who you are, what you bring to the table, people can run over top of you, and make your life really, really feel miserable, But when the two of you are equally yoked and you're starting together, you're gaining together, you're struggling together, I believe it makes a relationship more worth the while.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
I really do agree with, and also too, just to piggyback on that, I really think that both of the parties need to respect one another.
Absolutely.
Because if one don't respect the other, it's not going to work.
It's going to tank.
First. You're just going down.
I asked the question. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. What's your name?
My name is Kim.
Hi, Kim. Nice to meet you, Miss Kim.
Hi.
So I want to ask you this: when you got married, right? Did you go into the relationship knowing or believing that was your husband?
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay.
No.
So when did y'all have that conversation to say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to pursue you and I want to get married.
Oh wow. Honestly, I don't really recall having an in-depth conversation like that.
Tell the truth. That's what I'm talking about.
And I really think a lot of people kind of look at me like, oh, you made a grand mistake because I kind of proposed, and a lot of people are against that, like, oh, heck no, women not supposed to propose. But I kind of proposed. I didn't say, oh, will you marry me? I said, can I be your wife?
Oh,
but
wow.
I didn't put a date, time, or anything on it, But from there, he kind of took it and ran with it. And from there, also was a lot of pressure on me, like, we need to do this, let's go do it, So he set up the date, the time, and everything. So I kind of feel like I was I kind of say forced sometimes, because I was not a person who knew how to really stand on my own at the time. I was, like I said, naive and, impressionable, and I thought I was getting something, I don't know. I sometimes feel like I wasn't woke the whole time.
So that lets you know that self-care and that time that you needed with self to be able to have those conversations with yourself, you didn't have them. So do you find your? I don't want to put you on Front Street, but
this mix station, baby, she all right. She all right.
I'm on the phone.
Do you find yourself having those conversations now with yourself to say like what I should have done?
Like why? Absolutely, all the time. That's why we had so many struggles over the years. We really had a rocky, relationship over the years. I can honestly say we was not even evenly yoked in so many aspects.
Wow.
Of the word over the years.
That's honest. That's very, so good to
rocky
say.
And tough.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your honesty and for calling in with
us.
Oh,
not a problem.
We thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Miss Kim, for calling.
You are so wonderful.
Thank you.
We appreciate you calling in and for your support. We love you.
Not a problem. That's what I do. I love you too.
And we will see you soon.
And I will listen to the rest of the show. I'll see you soon. And have a blessed night, guys.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. That was nice.
So,
nice,
you know what?
Element.
After what she just said and your response, that actually gets me thinking. Because y'all spoke about, being young and not really being ready to get married. And now you face those questions in your mind about, now understanding the self-love that's necessary. How do you articulate what is appropriate, what's not appropriate, the things that you've been dealing with that you should not have been dealing with, or the things that were not a good representation of self-love? And when I say that, let me be more specific. If you find out that your husband has killed someone, or maybe he cheated on you and he's got children that you did not know about.
Yikes, he wouldn't be my husband.
So
that's first step.
So she would let him go.
I ain't going through that. Number one rules with me: if you cheat, if you call me on my name, and if you disrespect my mother, I'm done. Or my child, I'm done.
That's it.
If you cheat, you disrespect me, my mother, or my child, or you call me out my name, like you intentionally disrespecting me, I can't do it.
So I guess the next question would be,
what would be yours, Chris?
Oh, what are my three like?
Yeah.
No, what are your three non-negotiables?
Yeah, non-negotiables. Like you have that you is not going to deal with.
Y'all kind of put me on the spot.
Yeah, might as well. You asking us questions, we ask you questions.
My three non-negotiables. Well, cheating is definitely number
mine's
one.
too, and that's mine.
Definitely number one, because you
what
cannot
cheating,
love
though?
me.
What's cheating? What do you consider cheating? A text
message?
Whoa.
Emotional cheating, all that, because emotional cheating will eventually be more physical cheating. So it really don't have to be physical first; it be more emotional. Because if you there emotionally, you gonna give it up.
I don't
not all the time, but give me 90%. Give me 90% of that. Give me 95% of that.
What's up, Queen?
What's
How
your
are
second
you?
one?
So what was your second one?
Well, let me explain this because you asked what kind of cheating.
Okay.
All right. So there is levels to cheating.
It is.
But I think that's a very it depends on where you catch it and how far it has gone on, because if it's text messages between you and someone else,
I can get over that.
I
can get over it.
Look,
I've gotten over it.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say
Facebook fantasies. Jesus,
it does not necessarily mean that I can or cannot get over it, because I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Jesus.
One thing's for certain, two things for sure. If you catch your significant other cheating on you, one, they not doing a good job, and two,
somebody said cheating.
Y'all are not having
cheating is cheating, no matter how you look at it.
Strong enough relationship that you can't catch that before it even get there. You should know your partner enough to see the signs where there's a detachment,
that's right,
where they're looking for something from someone else.
I got you.
And if you've already missed those signs,
that's your fault.
It's partially your fault, because your partner should also, if you
honest.
haven't figured it out,
communicate.
Let you know, look, you not doing this is making me want to go to someone else, or making me want to get.
But you know what, Chris?
Sometimes
it's not even that you can do anything.
No, and I'm not disagreeing.
Sometimes it's just the way that they are.
Personally,
right.
If you have not realized that your partner has detached from you that far, where they're willing to go to someone else for emotional support, or for
physical,
sex, or for whatever they're willing to go to them for, you're not even involved in your own relationship. That's what I'm saying. So that doesn't mean I can or cannot forgive it, but I'm just saying cheating is a no for me, because
just
you should be responsible enough.
All levels of cheating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I can compromise in some areas, because I have guy friends, and I could be texting you as an example. I could be texting you on some, yo, Faith, what's up? Or you texting me on some, yo, Faith, what's up? You trying to go get some food? And my man could look at that as a problem, or it could be a discrepancy between us, because he looks at that like, why you about to hang out, or why you hanging out with a dude, or if he don't know you, you know.
But it's also a little bit of the insecurity that it shouldn't
exactly.
be.
Right. At the end of the day, if I am communicating with my man on whom I'm spending my time with outside of him, then he shouldn't have a problem with who I hang with. But I'm not addressing insecurities of a person that's just insecure.
That's what I was just about to say, and that's why I was gonna say, like, that's a friend is a different situation, it's a different discussion. What I'm saying is, like, okay, for instance, if I'm dealing with somebody, and let's just say that I'm dealing with somebody who there are women that are criers, that are emotional, that have to have like really intimate, really deep conversations with their significant other quite often. I'm not going to give a time period, but quite often. If I'm not a man that can muster up the emotional support for her every single time she needs that, and she starts confiding in another man to do that, one, the problem is with me, because I should know my woman enough to know that
that's what she needs. She needs that.
Erica,
let me say this. I'm gonna say this comment. I'm gonna say this comment. We're gonna flip it in a minute, but I'm gonna say this. I'll never forget. This was Miles Monroe.
Not the Miles Monroe.
Yeah, I gotta go there. You gonna look him up, and you gonna be floored.
Okay.
He said. You know, men.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm gonna ask her a question after you're done.
He said, and just going on with needs. He said, men need sex. It's not that they want it all the time, but they need it.
They need what?
Sex. Not that they want it all the time, but they need it because of his physical parameters of what he sees. He just sees.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
What's your point of it? What was your point?
And the point is that because he said, well, I gotta give if that's what she wants, I need to give her that. And I just want to explain to women that when you in that marriage covenant, it's not that the man wants it all the time. They may think, oh, he got a demon. He want to do it all the time. No. He needs it. That's what he needs. Like a woman needs emotional stuff. She needs that because she's emotional.
So you saying that it should be catered to? Like, if
it's not that it's not that it's catered to, but just know it's a need there. If I need to eat, then when I get hungry, I eat. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not big or deep. But when he said the comment, just made that comment come into my head. Okay. I'm sorry that I threw you off, but go ahead.
No. I think that was a good point that you made, because sometimes people can misconstrue it or misunderstand that statement. And everybody has needs, men, women.
Right.
We all do. But again, it's all about knowing your partner. And before y'all even get into it that deep, learn the person.
And
that's what's important. But go back to the self. If you know yourself, I can come into the relationship stating what I need.
Yes, absolutely.
If you already know what I need, I know I need emotional. I'm an emotional in tune man. I know I need a man that is willing to give me quality time. I know that I need affirmations. I need you to tell me that I'm beautiful. I need you to tell me that I'm doing a good job at what I'm doing.
That's what you need.
I need these things. Right. So I'm going to go into dating telling you I do it now. And if you know that you're incapable of doing these things, you should tell me up front, because I gave you that much respect to say, listen, these are my standards, these are my morals, these are things that I'm not willing to compromise, and this is what you're going to have to deal with me. And it's your choice to say, listen, I can't handle that. That's too much. But the problem is no one knows how to communicate. So no one knows, or even in the communicating, and no one knows themselves. No one knows what they want. No one knows what they desire.
Hold on. Before you go. Queen actually got a question for us that I thought is like super interesting.
Go ahead.
Okay. Shout out to Queen. Thank you so much for commenting and joining us. Her question is sending nude selfies from females to your husband cheating?
What? Absolutely.
Yes, that's cheating.
What did you say?
Sending nude selfies
of herself
from females.
Oh yeah.
To your husband cheating.
Yeah, that is.
If she's seeing that in her phone, like his phone.
In his phone.
Someone sent it to her husband and she's seen it.
Queen, can you do me? Hold on. Can you do me a favor, Queen? 1-855-493-6499. I need you to call in.
That is not a question.
To tell us exactly what you're asking here.
Yeah, no.
Because I think
understand what
she's
you're saying,
is
but
that
I need you to say it.
another woman sending nude pictures to her husband.
Is her husband considered cheating?
Is that considered cheating?
On her husband's behalf?
Yes.
On behalf of her
Yes.
husband?
Yes.
How else did he get the news?
I
You
was
think
just
he
gonna say, how did
received
he
them out of
get-
the clear
how did he get that
sky?
clear?
Yeah.
Well, how did he get the number, or she get the number?
Number to his phone to do that.
Queen,
Right.
call me. 443-444-4444.
Oh, she putting a number out there. Woo.
That's not my number.
Oh, I was going to say, geez, that's the first for mixed station.
1-855-493-6499. I
Queen,
need you to call
gotta
in,
get that
Queen.
together, sis. Tell
Yeah,
him
yeah,
to
yeah,
let
that
go.
ain't happening.
So I would say any way that he's able to receive a nude selfie. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He said,
if-
no, that's
Let's
not
skip
mine.
this.
I don't know how she got
Let's skip this question because
Yeah.
let's wait till she calls in so she explain herself.
But I think
Now,
that's it, though.
I don't think
that's
that's.
the way. I think that's what it is. But go ahead. What's your next question, Chris?
Well, she actually answered it before I could even ask it. But I was gonna. Let me ask you this: why are we used to receiving fake love from people?
Because we've seen it so many times.
It's a chain of reaction.
chain of
It goes back
reaction.
to
Yeah,
that
it go
childhood
back,
trauma.
yeah.
It goes back to that missing father. It goes back to not taking the time to dedicate time to yourself.
Yeah.
It goes back to being mistreated and just letting it get brushed under the rug. Like, we create these habits.
Yeah, man.
And we
Yeah.
create these doors for people to come in and mistreat us.
Did we or did our parents, or did we see it in our upbringing?
At the end of the day, this is listen. I was saying this to my sister today. If you keep giving a person an excuse to say F you, they're going to keep saying F you.
And going to be more
And
after that.
it's going to turn from a F you to a B.
Yeah.
They're going
Start
to
hitting.
they're going to start using their access because you've given it to them. You open the door and let the serpent come in for a second, he's going to roam house. So it's all in you. At the end of the day, if I choose to set standards to my house, you either going to respect it or you not.
It's funny that you said that because I've actually said the same thing on this show. Is that,
Right.
and this is a more of a conversation specific to the cheating. If you let somebody cheat on you once,
Yep.
They're going to do it.
what
two
is
times,
and you forgive them and you take them back. What consequence can you now inject into your relationship that will make them not cheat on you again?
I don't think
because if you've seen
A snake
like
is
if
a
y'all
snake.
if you
They bit you
let's
one
say
time, they gonna bite you
y'all split up
again.
They're going to bite
and
you again.
y'all
That's
separate if you're married or if you're not married and you dealing with
I
somebody
did
who
that.
cheat and you
I
break
did
up
that
with
after
them,
divorce.
but then at some point you forgive them and take them back. Now he knows. Oh, okay. Or if it's a woman, she knows. Okay, I didn't stop dealing with him for X amount of time. I didn't went through all of these emotional feelings. Now I'm insecure. Now I think that this girl is looking at him and that girl is looking at him. Or if it's a guy, all these dudes that hit my girl. Now it's like, okay, now you are mentally messed up.
So why go back?
On top of that, you still want this person who, now that they know what the consequences are, they have no reason to think that they can't get away with it again.
I just experienced this. And I was asking a young lady to
Queen, I'm sorry, Queen. We can't call you. We need you to call in.
us.
I can't call you.
One of the main things I was asking her, if you love me enough, let me go. Let me go. And one of the main things is that after I said that, she still wanted to have conversation. And I'm like, no, we can't have no conversation. Because if I let that door open up, we're going to be back where we was at before. Because if you said there's no future.
Toxicity.
Right. That's like,
Toxicity.
it's like, no, we can't do no more. And the thing about it, and we have fun together. We enjoy each other time together.
Just not for you.
One of those, it's just not for me. Now you have to. Now I told her after that. She said that. I said, well, now I have to love myself to let you go.
But it takes a real person, not even man
Right.
or woman. It takes a real person to be able to remove themselves from something that they know is just not for them.
Right.
Like, honestly, in my experiences of relationships, it took me the longest relationship it took me to remove myself from was the person I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And tell me 2 years ago I was going to be with Montez for the rest of my life. But it took for me to understand that it wasn't working. But I had to see myself outside of the relationship to understand my worth. And it wasn't even that the relationship was all bad, because it wasn't. It just was we weren't individuals in a relationship, if that makes sense. Like, we didn't know ourselves separately.
Right.
We were trying to figure out ourselves together. We were trying to figure it out together
or, you know,
versus doing it separately.
And
it just didn't work.
Or sometimes it may be that the person wants more than you have at the moment, at the time. They see, it's just like this. They see that you're gifted. They know that you got it. But they want a little bit more extra, and you don't have it.
That's exactly
and
what I was going to say.
And so they want their cake and eat it too, but it doesn't work like that.
That's a scary thing.
And so you're in that thing, and it's like, no, I can't be that.
Once you feel like you know somebody, or
it's familiarity.
Especially for people who get married. You think you know somebody because y'all married, because y'all been together for so long. I think this is Queen calling. Okay. You get to a point where now you have more confidence in what you think you know than what you see in your face, and you can't let go because now we like, okay, this is what I think it is, or this is what I want it to be, but in the end, you're not getting what you really want.
Let's go to your situation, if you don't mind me bringing it up, since I've talked a little bit about.
Hold on, Queen.
Right.
Go ahead.
We got
no.
Go
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah,
when it comes to seeing something that's not in front of you, right? You see what you want to see, but you're not seeing what's standing right in front of you. Whose fault is that? The person you're trying to look at, or you?
No, it's my fault.
Hey.
So if you know that, then why do you keep going back to look at something that's just not there?
No, you're right about that, and so I actually
because they like it, they familiar with it,
but
it's not going away. It becomes stagnant.
It's false. It's false seeing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's fake love.
It's fake love and
fake book fantasy.
Listen, who wants to keep doing that? That's a cycle that you're creating. That's a cycle that you keep going back to. That's something that you keep converting back to you. If it's for comfortability, if it's for intimacy, it's because you don't want to start something new with somebody else. Right. You don't want to evolve. You're okay with being stagnant. Whose fault is that?
Yours.
Mine, yeah. No, you're right.
And that's in any avenue of life. That's within your career. If you choosing to stay in a place, you just moved on to do something better because you knew it wasn't working for you. But at the end of the day, you had to make that decision. Your mother couldn't still come and say, Chris, I know you tired. Get a new job. Do something else. Try something else. It took for you to be like, all right, listen, I'm ready to evolve. I'm ready to try something new. But at the end of the day, nobody can make that decision for you to tell you to get out of this relationship. Or I tell my friends all the time, like, I'm never going to tell you leave your man. I'm never going to tell you leave your man because I'm not going to want you to tell me to leave mine. But at the end of the day, as a friend, as an accountability partner, I have to tell you what I see. And I have to be real with you and tell you that this is no longer good for you. But it takes for you to make the decision at the end of the day. Let's go with our caller.
Thank you for calling in the Rum TV. You got Chris and Faith. What's on your mind?
Hey, this Queen.
Hey, Queen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there.
Can you ask your question for our audience, because we seen it in the comments and we responded to you, but I'm not 100% sure that we understood exactly what you were saying.
I was asking if sending nude selfies to your husband considered cheating.
So are the nudes from you or the nudes from somebody else?
No, from another female.
It's cheating.
It's cheating, baby.
It's cheating.
Okay.
It is cheating.
It is what it is.
If it's not you on those pictures,
it's cheating.
It's cheating.
Right.
If it's no thread and it's just the pictures, it's cheating.
Right.
If it's a finger, it's cheating.
Wow. Oh my God. You can send a finger, somebody else's finger to him. That's not cheating.
That's another woman's finger. That is not my finger.
Oh,
what is her finger doing? If she trying to say something?
You know what? Now that's out of order. That's out of line. No. I don't know why you would send another woman's finger, but that's okay. That's in bounds right there. Hey. You know what? Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you for calling in, love.
Oh, my gosh. We got to let people have their relationship, the way they want it. If somebody, I don't really know anybody.
Listen, if my husband is listening, watching, decides to come watch after the fact, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. You better not receive no nudes.
Why would you as a wife send a picture of another woman to your husband anyway?
I don't know. I don't even understand the question, honestly. But we going keep on scrolling. So Let's
No,
touch
Give
back
you
on
back-
give you
so-
10 more
so-
minutes. All right, 10 more minutes.
I
We got 2 more
appreciate that.
minutes.
Okay.
So
This is a good conversation.
So the self
I got to go
love,
to work too.
I definitely understand and agree with what you're saying.
Okay.
And I actually came to that realization for myself. That's why it was actually kind of humbling that we had this conversation here today,
Yeah.
because I actually needed it for me.
Me too, brother. This week.
But I have a friend who I tell the same thing to. Like, a lot of times when you are experiencing situations where you're not sure if your significant other loves you the way that you love them, or you going through whatever you're going through with them, it's going to take for you to run into that wall and say, and like Faith said, she don't tell her friends to break up with their boyfriend because she don't want her friends to tell her to do that. And I'm somebody, I really don't advise people to break up, but I will tell you when you're worth more than what you'll receive.
Absolutely, that's what
I
you
think
should do.
that and if I don't say it that way, if my friends don't perceive it that way, that's what I'm trying to say. I agree with Faith. You shouldn't be telling anybody what to do in their relationship, because you shouldn't be accepting advice of what to do in your relationship, not specifically from someone else. That only person that knows what to do is you.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I think that I've had experiences, we talked about it on air, where I was dealing with somebody that I thought she loved me. I wanted her to love me, and she just didn't.
True, I understand.
And so, like, when you realize, once you see that she does not, or for a woman, once you see that he does not, you have to, I don't know how many times you got to run into that wall and hit your head up against that wall and have X amount of concussions. But once you done had enough of recovering from that concussion, you'll let go.
You will let go.
For me, I'm
Sometimes
discovering
it takes a little time.
that self-love for me to say, okay, Chris, it's time for you to let go. Because it
takes a minute, because I understand.
But in some instances, you like, we having a conversation where, and I purposely waited till the end to share this part, because you said it yourself. Sometimes you feel like you need to hold on, or that you need to stick it out. You wanna stick it out because it's not to say that you're married, but the whole till death do you part. Well, how do you even groom yourself to have a marriage till death do you part
if you're not willing to hold on to
somebody
something.
with the stuff that you go through with them? And don't get me wrong, I know what you're about to say.
Okay,
you have to wait until you get married to have that mindset. But what I'm saying is,
no.
Go ahead. Okay, say what you're gonna say.
What I'm saying is that now this comes in the fact of hearing what God say do. Okay.
But if your ears are clogged.
But if your ears are clogged, then you just going to keep on hitting. You can't hear him. But if your ears are open, and mines are open, amen, you have to be at a point where it's though, where you listening to him clearly. Because he told me to wait on this situation. Just wait. So I'm thinking like waiting, and after I wait, we all going to be kumbaya, moving into the sunset. No, it wasn't that. It was the opposite. Now, the case of man, when she said what she said, I love you enough to let you go. I needed to hear that to love myself, to let her go. We love each other, but we not there. And that's the thing. If I would have left the situation, I never would have got the confirmation of what she said, because everything that a person communicates, it's in the atmosphere. She confessed it. That's what it was. I said, thank you. Even though God may say something a minute ago, but he told me to wait. No, wait on it. No, wait on it. You're going to hear something. I thought it was going to be what I thought, but it wasn't like that. And because it was that way, I said, thank you, God. Now I understand why you wanted me to wait, because I needed to hear her say, put a period on that thing and say, you know what? All right, look, can we still have conversation? No, we cannot. No, no more doors open.
But that was a him. That was a him.
Right.
That was you making that conscious decision.
Right. That was
it took for God to say something or to give you a sign, but ultimately God can keep talking,
and it's your choice.
And you're not listening. Choice. So
it's your choice. So everything is your choice.
For my audience listening, because I don't want to confuse anybody.
Okay.
When y'all say when you hear God talking, explain what you mean by that.
Okay.
What is God saying, or what are you hearing that is the sign that makes you say this? It's okay now to make this decision.
Let me say this. In order to really hear God's voice, you have to have a relationship. In order for me to know you, Chris, you had to keep coming to the station every week, every 2 days. Mm-hmm. The more and more you come, the more and more I know you, whether you like it or not. Your faults, your good, your bad, and your ugly. Mm-hmm. Because out of this show, y'all put it all out there, which is a wonderful thing. That's the same way with God. In order for me to have the relationship I have to pray to him every day, confess every day, get my flesh in self-denial. I have to die to myself every day, constantly. And that's what marriage is. Marriage is like death. It's death. But marriage is really, divorce is really worse than death. Because when you divorce a person, you see him every day. Mm-hmm. When you deaf, the person is in the ground, you don't have to see him no more. When you divorce, I got to see the person all the time, especially if you got a child.
So explain that, the death part, because if you're married and marriage is death, then you don't see
saying you have to die to yourself
to be married.
Right, because you're not by yourself.
You're not by yourself.
So your decisions, what you want, what you desire, you have to die to that.
Right.
If it's
I got you.
If it's sex from another person, if it's communicating with other women, if it's going to the strip club, whatever.
Right. You got to die.
You can't be
right.
I got
yourself.
I just needed y'all to explain it that way, so that the people who don't is not
that's fine. That's fine.
The way I would explain hearing God's voice is if we were in a crowd, right? Like he just said, he's getting to know you daily, weekly, right? If you were in a crowd and you called out my name, Faith, I should be able to distinguish your voice. Why? Because I know you for myself. So God can speak to you through voice. He can speak to you through clouds.
Situations.
He can speak to you through water. He can speak to you through a person. He can speak to you however he chooses to speak to you. I've never heard him speak and say, Faith, get up. Like nothing where it may be a soft voice, like something subtle that I'll hear in my conscience, but I won't hear it out loud, if that makes sense.
There you go.
But you'll know the voice if you have a relationship with, is his point.
Right.
You'll know the voice if you have a relationship with him for yourself. So you can't, the way I hear him may not be the way you hear him, or the way he speaks to me may not be the way that he speaks to you.
I even go even better. Like my son, no matter where I'm at, if he's in the market and I call his name out, he's going to know my voice.
Yep.
Because he's been hearing my voice since he's been a baby.
Yep.
So no matter what I say, Jeremiah, whatever, he'll say, oh, that's my father. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Same thing. If you hear your mother call out to you, you gonna know exactly it's your mother because you've been around your mother since you've been birthed. You came out of her womb, so you know her voice. When your father first said to you, son, and you said daddy, you understood that was your daddy. And that's the whole idea. Okay. The relationship is just relationship, man. You know, just it.
And I when it comes to God, I want people to understand that
I got you.
He's not a person.
Yeah.
He was a person. He came down to the earth to be a person, to be a reflection of who we are. But at the end of the day, he's the spirit.
Right.
So you're never gonna, well, not never, but he's not going to come and like physically have a hand and touch you, or it may be an illusion of it. You may see it in that sense, but he's not a person, so he's not meant to have a sit down conversation with you like you can do with your dad or your mom.
Right.
It's a voice.
You're having those conversations with God through them.
Right.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah, it's awesome, man. All right, we good.
We good.
But this is awesome, man. I can go on forever, but I got to go to work.
Queen asked me to have you lock her number, and so I'm gonna get this to you after the show. But let me.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Queen. Girl, no more news, girl. No more news, girl. Well, listen, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be here. I want to say thank you to Chris and Cortez for inviting me.
Absolutely.
In Cortez's absence, hopefully I'll get to meet you someday.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's been awesome.
Thank everybody for joining our show on Rum TV. This was your host Chris and my co-host Faith.
Joy.
We are over and out. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Be blessed.
Falling on my skin, melting away my scars. You wrap your love around me like Saturn's rings. We become one as our souls sing in harmony. Come fly away with me so we can go to a place called Love's Galaxy. Oh, we can stay, elevate to a higher grade. It's just me and you in Love's Galaxy. Our connections, a consolation.